In 1969, the world watched in awe as a grainy black-and-white broadcast showed a man stepping onto the moon. Neil Armstrong's words echoed across the globe. "That's one small step for man. One giant leap for mankind." But in the decades since, that moment has become more than just a symbol of human achievement. It's become the center of one of the most persistent conspiracy theories in modern history. Did the United States fake the moon landing? Let's explore the story, the doubts, the evidence, and why this theory refuses to die. The official story begins in the heat of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a fierce space race, each trying to prove technological superiority. The Soviets had drawn first blood, launching the first satellite, Sputnik, and sending the first man, Yuri Gagarin, into space. America needed a win. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy issued a bold challenge: send an American to the moon and return him safely before the decade was out. NASA got to work. On July 20, 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the lunar surface. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin spent over 2 hours outside the lunar module, collecting samples, taking photos, and planting the American flag. Michael Collins orbited the moon, waiting for their return. The mission was hailed as a triumph, but not everyone bought it. By the mid-1970s, skepticism began to spread. A former NASA contractor named Bill Kaysing published a book titled "We Never Went to the Moon." He claimed the entire mission had been staged, not on the moon, but on a secret movie set, possibly directed by none other than Stanley Kubrick. The book ignited a movement. Supporters of the theory point to several supposed anomalies. First, the stars. In all the photographs from the moon, not a single star can be seen in the sky. Conspiracy theorists argue that this proves the background was fake. But NASA and photography experts explain the cameras were set for daytime exposure to capture the brightly lit lunar surface, far too short to show dim stars. Next, the American flag. It appears to wave in some footage, but there's no wind on the moon. Isn't that suspicious? Actually, the flag had a horizontal support bar to keep it unfurled. The waving motion came from the astronauts twisting the pole into the ground. Then there are the shadows. Some photos show shadows that don't run parallel, as if they were lit by multiple light sources, like studio lights. However, scientists say this is consistent with uneven lunar terrain and a single light source, the sun. Perspective plays tricks on the eye. So why would the U.S. fake a moon landing? In 1969, the pressure was immense. Billions of dollars had been spent. America needed a symbolic victory. Some believe faking the landing would have been easier and safer than pulling it off for real. Add to that a general mistrust in government, especially after events like Watergate and the Vietnam War, and you have fertile ground for suspicion. But the evidence supporting the moon landings is overwhelming. Over 400,000 scientists, engineers, and contractors worked on the Apollo program. The idea that all of them kept a massive secret for over 50 years? Highly unlikely. There's also physical proof. Apollo astronauts left behind retroreflectors, special mirrors that bounce laser beams sent from Earth. These devices are still in use today, confirming someone placed them there. Moon rocks brought back by Apollo missions have been studied worldwide. Their composition, lacking water, exposed to cosmic rays, is unlike anything found on Earth. Countries like the Soviet Union, America's rivals, tracked the missions independently. If it was fake, wouldn't they have exposed it? Even today, satellites orbiting the moon have captured images of the Apollo landing sites, showing tracks, equipment, and even footprints. And yet, the theory lives on. Part of it is human nature. We love mysteries. We're drawn to the idea that there's more going on than we're told. Questioning authority feels rebellious, even empowering. And in the age of the internet, where anyone can publish anything, conspiracy theories can spread faster than ever, regardless of facts. In truth, asking questions isn't wrong. Science itself thrives on skepticism. But healthy skepticism means following the evidence, not ignoring it. So, did the U.S. really land on the moon? The science says yes. The evidence says yes. The engineers, the astronauts, the world says yes. But conspiracy? It's a story that's just too good to let go. What do you think? Drop a comment, hit like if you enjoyed this dive into mystery, and subscribe for more stories that make you question everything. Thanks for watching.